Hi, Cancer. Alright, happy birthday if you're a cusper. Happy Gemini season, either way. This time would represent, to me, the moon in Gemini, which is not always the most comfortable moon. It's a little bit of a confusing feeling. But it also gives a lot of information about, it can give a lot of information about how someone feels. I already tried to record your reading, but honestly, it was very difficult to get out of a space of, like, it was all about it, just other people were in it. Now, I know you love other people, but as these readings are for you, when the premise is fully, like the focus is just going and the thoughts can't be separated from other people, then I can't help you, you can't help yourself, etc., right? So I decided to do it again. You have completely different cards than everyone else. We're actually using the Primordial Tarot, which I don't remember when exactly I recorded with these cards last time. I'll find that video, and over my morning prayer and chilling, my morning chilling ritual, I realized that you are a crab, right? The opposite of you is a goat, and I thought about the goat's eyes. Their pupils are horizontal. Goats don't really look at one another unless they're about to butt heads, so I figured if we don't have, you probably don't do so well with face-to-face conversations. You would be sort of like an alpaca or something. You know, crabs also don't go in straight lines, like, so, even though I love you, but I'm going to have you look at the cards so maybe the message will be understood better. I hope. Okay. I love you. See ya. I'll come back up and say, I'll come back up once the message is done. Okay? Love you. So, Cancer. You already have this very interesting dynamic here. Let's see if you can see. I want you to get a little bit. There we go. So we start out, the child is on one end, right? This little child, the other side of this, there's 3 spaces in between, is the elder, is this father. So, this child seems shy, right? This parent, this elder seems very strong. Let's open up and see what's in between. Oh, interesting. Okay, well, I guess you're meant to look at these, and then I'll flip it around. I can't read upside down. I can write backwards, but I can't read upside down. So let's see. Yellow, green, yellow, red, red. Take these as chakras. So inner child, heart, inner child, family, family. Okay. Let's see here, Cancer. Give me a second to tune in, please. So there's this whole family dynamic here, right? We have a child. I see an elder that is like a grandparent that's a male, a grandparent that is a female, or like could be great grandparent. It gets into that world. Then we have like a sibling or like an uncle or something like this. Then we also have a father. So the mother is missing, right? The mother's not here. Okay. Well, there's a great connection to nature here, right? There's a wonder in someone's mind, but there's a seriousness to this card, right? It's almost as if this is where you have to put childish things away. This card talks a lot about where it's almost like a child going into adulthood and realizing that life is a beautiful song, right? And all that has came before them is miraculous and amazing. What their family has done, what people have done, right, to make your life possible. And then there is a need to make a nest for yourself, right? This card is searching for materials, right? It's searching for things to build with. And sometimes one needs to use things that are hard, or even scary, like sometimes we're required to look at things that are hard or scary, face that part of the self, right? Or face that part of life, the changes, right? This is changes from child to midlife to adult to elder, right? There's these changes and stages that are needed. It's absolutely needed, and which can feel like, oh, well, this doesn't feel joyful for some reason. This doesn't feel childlike, but sometimes we need to not be able to find what we need or have that be given to us, right? It seems as if this energy is wanting someone else to take care of it, right? It's like, please help me, but this person's too busy doing this person's busy doing that, this person's mad about this person, there's advice, but one has to pick up their head and walk the line to be able to find this direction, right? It's already within you, because this is also you, right? And so sometimes when you cannot find what you need, you remember that you must become creative and clever and bold and brave, right? Recognize the creativity around you, or again, what has been built or what you're inspired by. And again, the curiosity of that, the braveness and boldness to step forward upon your path. Okay? This card does talk about material need. And for some of you, it could be a lack of resources. Now, your other reading did mention that, where it was a person that has an issue with money. Now, if this isn't you, this is also an expression of money is also comfortability, right? It's being secure emotionally, right? There's actually a lack of water here. There's no water here at this time. So this is where I suppose you have to, in some way or another, put your emotions aside, especially that which comes from a little place. It comes from the past, even insecurity. You have to put it aside and realize, well, you are not this little child, right? You may not be an elder yet, but I know you're an adult. Maybe some people are upset about having to be an adult. I don't know. Like having to do what it takes to handle it, but it's like finding your strength is what this card, I'm seeing this card as. Now there's different ways to express that, right? Sometimes strength to one is finding beauty in that which, again, you didn't even create, right? Just the backing of maybe why you're here now, right? Sometimes the beauty is creation. Again, like, okay, well, I need a way to carry this water. Perhaps this is where the water is in the center here, is holding in this vessel. Pisces talked a lot about this vase, the vase becoming a vessel. So it's sort of putting some, I guess you're going to have to put your emotions aside about something to be able to overcome or to find where it's tight so that you can become stronger. Now, as this card represents material, again, like building, right? And there's difficulty here. It's like, okay, I want to build this, but I have to clear this space before I can build, right? If it's all, I just saw land that was very knotted up and there was a lot of dense growth, which is good. It means that there has been a lot of growth. But then it's, okay, well, if I want to build in this space, then I have to think ahead, right? This card is about setting up communities and setting up your home. This is also gathering and maintaining resources, right? So this is accepting what you have to figure out what you need as an individual. And then from there you gather, right? I wouldn't be expecting anything from your family with this. Even if you are, I wouldn't. Even as far as inheritance for some of you, I would push that aside. We all receive inheritance. I see we inherit good and bad qualities, right? We inherit good and bad things. Then we have to decide what's important to us. Is it a physical thing? Is it an emotional thing? Is it an understanding? Is it your face? Now, this card represents that work is needed, right? Creating this, there's work that's needed here, and valued. And so this is also recognizing your own skill set, recognizing your own abilities to create, and that hard work is rewarded. Scorpio also talked about this. Here's all the water. Now, once you get to this place, this could also be where some of you would happen to be more successful later in life, right? Not that you're not successful before, but the feeling of confidence in where you came from or your childhood or the past comes to this place of understanding, like, oh, that's my talent. Oh, I am worthy. Oh, I am good at this. And really focusing in on that, right? Because this person is, their talents and skills that they have, also what it does is there are others that want that or need that. And so there's an equality of trade within it, right? It's not like, here, you have my water vessel, and while you're in the middle of the desert and you starve, right? Or you die of thirst. No. You have your own, you create more, and then you share. Capisce? Because this isn't only something that's practical, it is also something that is beautiful. This card is also about preservation. In addition, I'm seeing that. It's like preservation. Right, food and water sustains us. This is also money, practical things, home, job, right? And then also the water, the emotional space of that. Now, from here, this card is about experience, right? It's about gaining experience. It's about assessing a situation correctly, right? Like, okay, and having careful consideration. And sometimes the need, sometimes what is necessary. You have to take larger risks than normal. Now, that doesn't mean putting yourself in danger. It doesn't necessarily mean overly proving oneself in like an ego way, right? But it does come to a place where if at any point you put yourself in a circumstance where you're like, okay, this is my duty, I have to do this, and it becomes overly difficult, or you realize it's too heavy for some reason, then what you do is you ask your tribe, right, to be like, okay, I need help with this, so that it is successful. Because whatever that thing is that you're needing help with doesn't just help you, it helps the whole, right? Now, this card can represent kind of a hard battle or some sort of unforeseen challenge, but in the end, it's an ultimate victory, right? It's a confidence. But this man and both of these characters are hunters. Okay, this one cries out in this way because they overcame a challenge. And actually what they're doing is they're releasing fear of what they thought that they could not do. But it's a bit of a juvenile energy. This man is also a hunter. He has hunted many times. He now knows, for instance, what is threatening, what he can do on his own, what he needs his tribe or a small group for, etc. He's not doing it to prove, like, look, I killed the biggest buffalo. It's, I know I need to take this to be able to provide for that, right? I need to go out and put the hard work in, because that's what happened. That's what your ancestors did for you to be here, right? No one resting on their laurels. You have to pick your head up, Cancer. Somebody's hanging their head too low. This person's hanging their head low. Maybe there's a bit of guilt in here too for some of you, like what you could have done, or you feel responsible for others. But remember that you have to take care of yourself as if you were a child. You know, home, job, work, an appropriate amount of space, correct diet, right? Ample exercise, right? Things of this nature. Correct rules or boundaries to be able to make things work together. What is your creative talent also? You're good at something, right? Maybe not everything you create is perfect. right? Sometimes there's a crack in it, sometimes it falls over. Okay, well, then you mush it all together and you make another one. Don't be mad. I see, don't be mad at yourself for that which, wherever you fail or wherever it becomes intense. It's like, okay, well, just tell yourself, I can do this. And again, if there's something that is not purely for your own ego, that has to do with the whole, or has to do with, again, that, because whatever this family dynamic is, this exists, but this is also the whole family dynamic within you, Cancer. And I guess when there's too many people in your life, Cancer, you spread yourself too thin. And part of the reason you surround, if any of you surround yourself with a lot of people or try to, is because you feel lonely. Because you want someone to take care of you. Maybe the way that you weren't taken care of, or maybe the way you wish you were taken care of, or wherever there was a lack. But that's not really the point now, because again, you're not a child. You know, because what this card represents is doing what must be done, right? And the primal drive to survive, right? This card again is like, oh, well, you start to realize like, oh, I have to grow up, or I have to do this, but it doesn't want to, right? But then at the end of this line, it's like, okay, I know what needs to be done. And I don't just want to, I know that I need to. And I know that it's not just for me to prove something, to become the biggest person, the strong one in the tribe or whatever. It's because that's a part of your soul's path. Now, in ways of the matter of survival as well, you have to remember that sometimes survival requires more than just something basic like food. You know, perhaps for some of you, there could be something where you're working through a Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? First and foremost, you need food and water. Then you need shelter. Then you can start expanding and asking questions, right? Then from there, you can start to build emotional places of comfort and intelligence, so therefore you can step into the highest point of being able to help others, right? You can't do upside down triangle. And I will say that you know, sometimes to do what needs to be done, it doesn't necessarily have joy in it, right? Again, this card represents not everything being fun. It's true, not everything is, but you know what's great about that is maturity. You know? For instance, you go to the grocery store. I want to look at you before we go. You know, think about when we go to the grocery store, and whether you're grabbing a bunch of carrots, if you don't grow them yourself, or hamburger in that styrofoam and cellophane package. It's like that animal died. Those carrots were ripped from the ground, right? These are things that were living and now are dead. It's just a part of it. You want to build a house out of wood? Well, that tree had to die. There's no joy in killing. There's no joy in saying, well, again, if you want to do this, you can't have that. But I guess that's not necessarily, you're not meant to look at it in a negative way. It's understanding like, okay, well, this is here for me to work with. If you're not abusing that, if that space isn't being abused, then there's more creativity within it, right? Now, I'd like to mention one other part that was in your reading that I thought was quite poignant. In your other reading, it actually talked about your constellation, which it sort of looks like an upside down Y. And right now it's almost, although this shows one road, which I guess is maybe a combination of the other energy. There's justice. Interesting. It's as if there's like two parts of you. There's two roads, okay? And one of the roads, it's like you're trying to come to the center point so that all things line up, right? It's almost like you're weighing things out, or things feel sort of separate, right? You're trying to bring it together. You're trying to bring it to the center point so that it can go up and out. I don't know what this is called, like up and out, or forward, you know, like a little fishy, like forward, and maybe this is swimming to the shore, trying to get to the, but the thing is one of these roads is actually, one side of you is actually going slower than the other side. The other side is like a fast track, and the other side is a lot of stop and go. So it's almost like this is going, and then like this is going, and then this is like this. But you will finally come to a place of, because there's going to be traffic sometimes. Think about a fast road, a little highway, right? It's like, okay, there's all these people on it going all this way, right? Going faster, trying to get there faster. Oh, I want to get there. I want to get there faster. I want to get here. It's like, well, sometimes it's stop and go. Sometimes the fast track isn't the place to be. It's overwhelming, it's stressful, and again, sometimes there's traffic, and with more traffic, with more things in a place that are going faster, what happens? There's more accidents. There's more accidents in that kind of place, right? So sometimes the wise bet is to take the offshoot and to do your little stop and go and to be happy about that path. Do you know what I mean? Because the thing is you do come to the center. You know, it's almost like where two things merge. But I guess this is a path that you are meant to walk upon yourself, right? I heard then you can pick up a hitchhiker later. So many majors just popped out. Oh, that was another one. Okay, we'll close like this. Did I just lose it? Just a second. Oh. So you actually change, or are meant to change, more than maybe you want to. It's very important, Cancer, for you to be accepting of the changes that are going on. Embrace them, nurture them, see that as creative, see that as a challenge to be like, okay, I know I need to change this. I know it's time for me to change. I know it's time for me to stop doing this. I know it's time for me to start doing this, right? Conscious and aware. Now, do you have all the answers? Say you do change something. Change lanes, right? You get out of harm's way and you change lanes, because if you don't change, then there's an accident, right? There's always like traffic. There's a traffic jam when you don't accept your own change. Yes, there's totally a traffic jam. So again, I see don't fight the change. Okay, nope. And realize that you're in charge, you know? I would say, because this has more masculine energy, except for this woman in the middle, this ancestor, whoever this older female is, she can take care of herself, right? She's a guiding force. You also receive some sort of like talent from her, or she's giving you a means of how to deal with things, you know? But because there's more masculine energy, again here, you have to learn how to protect yourself. You have to, there's something about being able to comprehend how to ensure that you are facing your challenges with authority, and also not ever putting yourself in a circumstance where it's too overwhelming, and you feel secure upon the path, right? I just saw a funny scenario, but I don't know how to explain what the message is. Who talked about these stones? Stonehenge, was that Libra? Self-reliance. Libra will be helpful. Right? There are things in life where there are no explanations. Do you know what I mean? The statues on Easter Island, the Stonehenge, like the pyramids, the ancient temples of Armenia, like you don't, there's oddly quote-unquote Greco-Roman architecture all over the world from the same time period. How is that possible? Only God knows. You know, so I guess in ways of your own creation, I guess remember that at this time there's something about the soul lesson of all of us learning some kind of way to ease our soul and where we're going forward, so that we become stronger people, you know, soulfully. And take the lessons from our family, right? Figure out what they are. Be grateful for them. Even if things are short-lived, it's like loving that, right? Understanding, again, and being open to the change. I want you to be open to the changes, okay? Maybe you need to just ask yourself, like, what can I change? What do I need to change? How can I love myself a little bit more? How do I need to mother myself? How do I need to father myself? Regardless of your age, right? The father is about protection and teaching logic, right? The mother is about nurturing and food and basic how to take care of yourself. Let's read this last one. So this card is about will and skill, understanding, and moving power from spirit into the physical, right? And then understanding the physical, right? Creating this vase, for instance, creating this vessel to hold this water. This is okay. So it was, I have an idea. Now this is physical. Then also recognizing, okay, well, this only can exist because of spirit. Then from there, what happens is creative power. I really feel like Libra's reading will be so helpful for you, Cancer. They talked about enormous creative potential, right? And there is a difference between potential and reality, but once you recognize the potential of what you could do without worrying too much about what you want to know about the challenges in the future, go ahead. But just know that nothing is put in front of us or given to us that we are not able to handle in some way or another, or need to learn how to handle. Do you know what I mean? And stopping yourself sometimes from changing or from making a different choice or stepping up into a leadership position, right? Well, that's only inhibiting your growth. You know, you'd be like, oh, I can't do this because, well, that'll happen. You know, that's just limiting you, and that's where the potential becomes stagnant. Okay? Let's read this last card. This is Libra's card. Okay? Bones in the desert. Maybe you'll find some bones in the woods or something. Pay attention. There are different kinds of power, some of it brutally destructive. But this is only when one, I feel like for you, because of the messages, this would be where, you know, if we don't want to change, if we get stuck in that devil and we're like, no, I'm comfortable here. Even if it's unhealthy, like, I'm comfortable here. I don't want to change. I don't want that kind of thing. Then this is where tower things come, right? Everything kind of crumbles down and then you have to change. Better to take the initiative for yourself, right? It's more empowered that way anyway. And more creative, right? It says creative power is transformative and taps into the ability to create new life. When a new life begins, the components work together for a greater goal. They do not fight against each other, trying to overpower the other parts. The creation would not survive, grow, and flourish if they did, or if they are. That could be something where if there's a blockage, if it doesn't feel like it's growing, if it doesn't feel like it is flourishing in your life, blossoming right now, it's about to be your solar time, then this is where things you need to take those steps, right? And again, take them empoweredly, please. Be like, I want to do, yeah, I want to change. I'm going to do that, you know? Okay. It says creative power allows us to take the resources available, learn their strengths and weaknesses, and find ways to blend them so that the whole is worth more than the sum of its parts. It finds ways for all life to flourish without needlessly destroying anything. Now, Scorpio talked about gentle creation, gentle manifestation, right? Gentle, more of a creation though, not just an idea, because I sense you already know what you need to do. And that whole creating without destroying was an old Aquarius reading. This is actually one of your inconjuncts. You have to have that adjustment to how you feel and what you know, right? And also through your experiences, knowing how you feel, knowing about the flow of that, right? And also knowing how to deal, for instance, when you don't feel good. You know what I mean? And then knowing how to shift a feeling so that you can, it could even be where it, again, some water is put into a vessel so that you don't lose any of your soul, and you move forward, right? In case it's bumpy at all, you'll have what you need when you get to the next space. Oh, lastly, these two roads, right? This road. It's like, where are you going right now? Where are you headed? You got to know when you have enough gas. You also got to know that even if you ran out of gas, that you could flag someone down. You could hitchhike. You could walk to the gas station, right? Do you have a little gas can in the back of your car? Right? Are you prepared? Because if you're prepared, right? Capricorn, the opposite of you. When you're prepared, there's nothing you need to be afraid of because you can handle anything, Cancer. Hello. But that's only if you believe in your own power to create. And again, to be open when you know changes need to happen. Because think about it, when Cancer doesn't change, so they say control the water, it's like if water doesn't move, it becomes stagnant. And then insects put their larvae in it and it becomes non-potable. You can't drink it anymore. It's not good for the human anymore when water is stagnant. Scorpio takes it over. You See what I'm saying? Interesting. I love you, Cancer. I hope this was soft enough. You know, maybe we needed to have this conversation in this kind of way. The other one went by so fast. It was so strong. You know, it was like... You know, sometimes, you know, they put mother... Oh my God, we could have such a conversation. Maybe you are the mother. Pisces is the father and Libra is the child. I wonder who the elder is. Because I guess Cancer to Capricorn, that means that sometimes love is tough love. Sometimes it's needed. You can't coddle things. You know what I mean? And I would say during this time, please pay attention to the changes that you need to make. Don't worry about the changes that other people need to make. You would be wasting your time. You could look to Libra's reading to help you to ensure that your energy is on point, that your direction is on point, that you pick up your head and you recognize the power of where you're going, right? You come up with an idea and then you make it physically happen, right? Yes. Okay. And I see again, if you ever need help along the way in whatever changes you're making, you have them. You can, it's not like you're ever alone. No. It's how you feel sometimes, but you don't have to feel like that. You can feel, well, I heard any way you want. Oh, by the way, try to find a picture of yourself when you were a child and you were smiling. You were happy. You're a happy little child. Find a photograph of that. Hold it. Feel it. You are that. Okay? And then look at yourself now in the mirror. What do you look like now? You happy with what you see now? What is that? You hear me now? Alright. Love you so much. Hope this was of service. Happiest birthday to any cuspers. I'll talk to you next time. Thank you for all your support. Meow.